Okay, let us start a new file. So click this and click Home first. Sometimes your um, connection to SketchUp will be severed, and so you need to create to um, refresh in order to make that connection again. I'm going to click New, and then we are going to save this first to begin with, and then you go to your Google Drive and go to your SketchUp files folder, and then we're going to do practice, and then we're going to type practice scale and click save. So let's say you started with a square, right? You want a square here. You can click the square tool, click the start, and then drag. And when you see a diagonal, let me change my view. There you go. So, oh, I lost my connection. Okay, so let's click this open again. All right, so when you make a square and you click this corner as a first corner for square. When you drag and making a square, you will see that there's a diagonal line. Okay, if you don't see the diagonal line, you're not making a square. Okay, so if you make it like this, that's not a square. If you make it like this, that's a square. You must have a diagonal line in order to make it a square. But not all diagonal lines will indicate a square. Okay, if you have a box that says golden section, that is a rectangle with a very specific ratio. Okay, so make sure that when you make a diagonal line or you make a square, it should show a diagonal line, and then there would be a small tooltip that says square on it. Okay, so if there's a tooltip like that, then you can now begin typing on your keyboard. If you want it to be 3 feet by 3 feet, then you can type in 3 feet. You're gonna press comma, and then you're gonna put 3 feet. So 3 feet, comma 3 feet means that it's the length and width of the square, which is the same, so it should not be a problem. So when you put in 3 feet, comma 3 feet, you simply press enter. If you move your mouse, you are or your trackpad, you are going to lose making the square. So not make sure you don't touch your trackpad. Once you have a diagonal that says square on it, don't touch your trackpad anymore. So 3 feet by 3 feet, and then press enter, and there's your square. Okay, we're gonna use again the push pull tool here, and then on your trackpad, simply hover, and then click, but don't hold it down. You simply tap and then use your fingers to raise it up, okay? And then stop touching it anymore, and then type again on your keyboard 3 feet, and then press enter. Okay, there you go. So that's now a cube. Okay, 3 feet by 3 feet. When you see this appear, make sure that you click on the appropriate settings. Some of you have mouse with you, and some of you only using trackpads. So I'm using all trackpads, so I'll click trackpad and then close it. Right? So, what we're going to do today is we're going to practice the scale tool. Okay? So 3 feet is like halfway before somebody gets into their height of their hips, and that person is there to tell you the scale of what you're drawing in SketchUp. Okay? So she's there to help you visualize how big your drawings are. Okay? So the scale tool can be found, I think, in the move button here. And the scale tool looks like this icon. Okay. So the scale tool, what it does is obviously makes things bigger or smaller. Okay. So when you click on the scale tool, it doesn't know what you want to scale. Okay. So what you need to actually do is select first using the select tool. Select the objects that you wanted to scale. Okay. Once you've selected the objects, then you go to your scale tool here, and then you will see these basically your grips equivalent to AutoCAD. They're called grips. Okay. So if you wanted to scale and preserve the ratio, you wanted to click on the corner. Okay. So if I wanted to make this 5 feet, 5 feet, okay, I simply click on this one and then I drag it in, and then you have to figure out the scale factor. Okay. So from 3 feet to 5 feet, you have to do a calculation, but a 3 feet to a, let's say, 6 feet, that's easy. That's double because it was 3 feet before. Now you wanted 6 feet, so you can just double and you can type on your keyboard 2 feet or two enter, and everything will now be doubled. So the height of this one is 6 feet. Okay, you can measure the height using this tool here, okay, the tape measure tool, and you can simply click on first corner and drag it up, but don't click. You simply hover over it. Okay, 6 feet. This one is also 6 feet. Okay. All right. So that's using the scale tool. Now, the scale tool, when you click on the scale tool, it will show you these grips. And we wanted to use only the corner because we wanted to preserve the ratio of a cube. Okay. Now, if you select like the middle, that means you can increase only the height here. Okay. Press escape. Or if you click this middle, you can increase the width this way. Okay. If you click the front middle, you can decrease the depth here. Okay, press escape. Right. So it depends on where you select. Now, there are also these middle points on the corner, but what it will do is it will not make it a square anymore, and you can change um, the depth and the width. Okay, if you look at here in the corner, you have two scales to do now. Okay, normally we don't do it this way, but you can still adjust your size of the object using these two scales. You have to put a comma in between. Okay, the first one is the red scale. You want to double the red, so you put two. And if you wanted to preserve something, then you put one. One will not do anything because the scale factor of one doesn't change anything. So it must be bigger than one to make it bigger, or smaller than one to shrink it. Okay. So if you want to shrink it, okay, you click on this one. If you click on this one, it'll shrink on this direction. Okay, press escape. So if you want to shrink back to the original point here, you must click on this opposite corner. So click that, and then I wanted to make it go back to 3 feet. That means it's 6 feet right now. To go back to 3 feet, I have to type in a 0.5. 0.5 means I want to get the size half. Okay, so 0.5, press enter, and then you go and try and measure it. You are now back to 3 feet. There you go. Okay, so practice your measure for this tutorial.